What are cults? They are categorized as authoritarian, high-control groups, often classified by their focus, commonly including religious, doomsday, political, and self-help/commercial types. Religious cults. These groups often claim to be a new or reformed version of mainstream religion, frequently revolving around a charismatic leader who claims divine authority. Doomsday cults. Focused on apocalyptic prophecies, these groups believe they alone will survive the end of the world, often leading to dangerous, desperate actions. Political/personality cults, centered on intense, absolute devotion to a political leader or ideology, these groups often operate with strict hierarchy and authoritarian control. Self-help/commercial cults. These exploit the desire for personal growth, promising professional success or spiritual enlightenment through expensive workshops or seminars, such as large group awareness trainings, also known as LGATs. I am leaving you in the hands of my companion today, the investigator. Thank you, sleepy speculator. And today, I am the investigator. The sleepy speculator has to go off and do other things right now. So what we're going to be getting into are the types of cults that there are. And in this upcoming episode, yes, we're going to be going over some rather painful things for a lot of people. As sleepy speculator myself, we do not condone nor endorse what has happened or is happening to people inside cults and the cults themselves. We're going to start our descent on the episode with the Children of God. This cult actually was headed by a person called David Brent Berg. He was also known as Moses David in 1968 in the state of California. However, the name changed several times. In 1978, it became the Family of Love, and again to the Family International, which is what it goes by as today. And some famous people have been inside the cult. They were reared in the cult. Rosengallen was, and of course, Joaquin Phoenix was. Neither one of them actually experienced, any of the, per se, bad things that actually have been alleged that went on in the cult. The religion itself was very perverse and sexually charged, with a lot of theology that was just brazen exploitation of children. And, of course, the ringleader of all of this, he wanted the, per se, any women in the cult to go out and obtain men through sex to convert them to become members of the cult. And they term this as flirty fishing, which is in itself horrible. But, they had a lot of alleged sexual, physical, and mental abuse that went on inside the cult. Once you became a member, then, unfortunately you got brainwashed. You knew nothing of the outside world. Children were not allowed to go to public schools. And allegedly, you are basically subjugated. And the children actually had to live outside in another environment separate from their parents, only overseen by very, very devout members of the cult. So again, we have children that are being separated from their parents, which should never happen. Many allegations were brought against the Children of God and their leader. A longtime member named Ricky Dupuy, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, well, a longtime member, he appeared on Top Show in 1993, and he revealed that he had been ordered by the group to commit SA on the 10-year-old. And that is horrendous, and it is horrible. And he went through many, many tortures, and He took his life in 1996. So we are looking at a cult that can brainwash you into doing the most awful things to be imagined. The law of love policy, it was given by David Brent Berg, allowed for things to happen to adults and children. And basically, it is saying that if your actions were for God, were unselfish and pure, then it was lawful for any kind of essaying, mental abuse, emotional abuse to go on, even though there was no biblical or society standards for these actions to be going on. He just made his own policy up and made the members follow it. Mr. Berg had a son. His name was Richard Peter Rodriguez. He was born David Moses Zerbe. He was raised from childhood all the way up to being adult inside the children of God. He did finally get out of the cult, and he did get married. However, the mental instability that he had, it just didn't seem like life was going his way. And on January 8th, 2005, he found someone that, in a book called The Vito Book about him, a lot of essaying went on in that book and a lot of descriptions that should never be being done, let alone described, about a child happening to him. Anyway, on January 8th, 2005, he invited Angela M. Smith, one of his alleged abusers, and to his apartment she came, and he ended her life. He stabbed her to death, and when he fled, he went to Blythe, California, and unfortunately took his own life by gunshot. So, yet again, another death contributed to the cult. The Children of God cult is still around today. It is a far-reaching cult. They have places in Europe, in America, and all the way in Japan. The Family International, aka the Children of God, their founder, he died in Portugal. Everybody said he was in hiding. He was still under investigation in 1994 when he passed. He passed of natural causes. And since then, the Family International has tried to scrub everything from the internet about physical abuse, emotional abuse, sexual abuse, and they tried to redo their image. There are paper trails, there's books, there's snippets, anything that you can find that you'd want to speculate on about what is the truth and what is a lie when it comes to the Family International, aka the Children of God cult.